Well, him too, honestly. But I know.
Johnson.
Anyway,
Johnson family.
we're
All
live,
right.
boys.
We're live, baby.
Are we live on YouTube yet?
It says live on YouTube.
which means
Let me
we're
hold up.
recording. We're live on YouTube.
I didn't know we were gonna be live, boys. I didn't
Mic
even
check,
brush
1,
my
2, 1,
beard.
2.
Cause I killed
Hey, brother, it's okay.
one, but
we make it work.
Yeah, it says in the top right corner.
Yeah, it does say live, so
all right, we're good. We're good.
we're good. Hey, that means we good. So you already know what time it is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I don't know if my energy was there yet. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what's going on? You already know what time it is. I see Parker getting ready to do that invitation in his head somewhere deep down, as you already know what time it is. You are on the sidelines with the Sideline guys. And well, man, we got a bevy of debate topics for y'all this week. Oh my goodness. It's just a lot of things flaring. So we're going to get right into this thing, but you already know we joined by a bevy of panel and co-hosts. You already know what time it is. Of course, man, we can go in random orders. You already know how we do it. We got our man to the left in my bottom left right-hand corner. You already know him as that top number one Eagle. Well, it's debatable. You know what I mean? Top number one Eagle / Celtic fan. You know what I mean? Already resident neighborhood. Sammy in the building. What's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. Can't complain.
Still got the
Healthy,
fresh
up
cut?
to date. Yeah, I'm up to date on my vaccine, so doing good.
That's all well and good. You know how it is, man. And of course, we can't forget the guy who's actually not rocking a hat on today. Normally, we know him for wearing hats, but this man is showing you his also handsome stature.
Do I need to go get a hat?
The only, oh man, listen, hey, it's okay, brother. You good, man. Let them see the fancy hairdo. You know what I'm saying? Thing rocking, shining. You know what I mean? Look at that. Look, so just this man needs to be the model for just for men. I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen, give this man his due. Give him his sponsorships. Ladies and gentlemen, you already know he is the Diabolical Hater 2.0. He is your resident Florida Gator chomp. And of course, as you know, your Cam lover, Patriot right now. You already know. And of course, we can't forget your neighborhood James Harden, Houston Rockets.
Yeah. Hold up real quick. Let me interrupt. I don't know if I'm with the Rockets anymore, y'all. They're really disappointing me. No, I'm teasing. But seriously, we might have to do some reevaluating in the offseason, boys. Free agency hits November. That's also my free agency. We'll see. But I saw a report that the Rockets are. I had some good news after some bad news last week. Daryl Morey, one of my favorite people on this earth, the GM of the Rockets, has left. But Tillman Fertitta came out, the owner of the Rockets, said we are keeping Westbrook and Harden, and this is not a rebuild, and we are going to do whatever it takes and work the NBA trade machine to get a championship now. So whatever. I don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll see. You like that?
It sounds nice.
Oh, it sounds nice. Derek, it's the same song and dance every offseason, brother. That's what you learn from Houston. But you know what? They do just enough. To reel that hope right back into your heart.
Yeah. You should become a Celtics fan, bro.
And then we'll get our heart broken in the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Oh, well, as you know,
after we beat the Utah Jazz with the Oklahoma City Thunder.
There you go. You see what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? And of course, we cannot forget, speaking of which, our other resident Eagles / Celtic fan, you already know. I'm sure he's smiling ear to ear at the fact that the Cowboys suffered in so much agony on Monday night. You already know it is the man, the one, the only, Derek Myers. What's up, sir?
You know what my favorite flavor of all time is?
What's that, brother?
Cowboy fans' tears.
I was about to say Cowboys lost.
Beautiful.
Let me ask you this. Let me guys ask you this one question. Do you at least feel, well, maybe not because the Eagles kind of suck this year too, but do Eagle fans, do you guys feel at least somewhat bad for Dallas this year? Like not for losing as much, but for the injuries they've had?
I feel
only
bad
for Dak. That's
okay.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's sympathy for Dak.
For sure. Okay. I've always liked Dak. I just don't.
That's a question.
Say that.
That's a okay. This is a question.
I've always liked him.
I got two questions for you guys. Two questions for you guys. I want to get into. While you made me think about it because I want to ask you guys today. I was originally going to ask who's one of your favorite players in the league that is just kind of random, doesn't go for any team you support, but you're like, you know what? I really like that guy. And it can be NBA or NFL. I was thinking more specifically NFL, but is there, and then to follow up that question, is there a guy that you just support just that on some random team that you're like, dude, I love that guy? And also, is there a guy on one of your rival teams that no matter how much you want to hate him, you still like him?
Okay, so question to the
or in the past,
part.
Past. Like it can be former or current players.
When you say like someone that doesn't like you have no affiliation, so like I can't pick someone who went to Oklahoma, right? Because that's like a connection.
No. I would say like you don't really have any connection to him. You just like him. Like for me, I have zero connection. He's not a rival of my team, but I have zero connection to him. And I just love him. I love him off the field. I love him on the field. And that's Aaron Rodgers. I love Aaron Rodgers. I just think he's one of the coolest guys. I think he's an amazing talent. Like Aaron Rodgers is my guy. And I'll just root for Green Bay just because I like Aaron Rodgers and they're not a rival. Like I just be like, fuck it. I like Aaron. So why not? Right.
Yeah. I've done the same thing.
Yeah.
Especially when we've been out of contention. It's like, it'd be nice to just see him succeed.
Yeah. Is there any other guys that like you guys are thinking like? I mean, there's a couple guys like that, but
Russell Wilson.
Oh yeah, but like everyone loves. He's a token boy.
Oh, you're talking about just like mad random person.
Like mad.
Yeah, I was gonna say Lamar Jackson. I really like
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Ryan, okay, dude. Tell me that didn't break your heart what he said today, bro.
It sucks because I understand exactly what he's talking about. Like this was his team. Like I get why you would move to Tua. But my thing about that is like I wouldn't want to rush him either. If you're on a good streak and the Dolphins have been rolling, why not just ride?
What did I tell y'all boys before the season started? Dolphins are going to be a sneaky good team. Great defense. And Fitzpatrick's done enough on offense.
Yeah. They have much improved defense. That's really, really good.
Because they took half the guys from the Patriots. And Brian Flores is really good. But
I would say Flores is really good too. I'm glad they didn't. I
remember they thought about firing him last year, and I was like, "That's the wrong move. That's the wrong move."
Been, most definitely.
That's the side effects of Adam Gase, which we're seeing as the Jets. But
why does he still have a job?
He won't say.
Oh yeah, man. Jeez, yeah.
I don't know.
For me, I'd probably say Noah Fant. Really random. I like
Iowa.
Noah Fant. I like him because in Madden 20, so this past Madden, I like to always, when I did a fantasy draft, pick the young guys, and he was like a really fast young tight end.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason why. And I have him on my fantasy team this year, but I have like no connection to him other than like.
That's a good one because I think we all think about quarterbacks. Because like I root for a lot of quarterbacks. Like I like Drew Brees, I like Lamar, I like Patrick Mahomes, I like Aaron Rodgers. Like I'm trying to think of a guy that I like that's not.
You were saying like random. Like Aaron Rodgers really isn't that random. Because he is like a very well liked player. If I had to pick like a quarterback, it would be like Lamar Jackson, just because I like playing. I don't know. I like guys who I like playing with in Madden. So I guess that would kind of be it. Someone who I hate. I know this is gonna get Derek mad. I don't hate him. I love him because he went to OU, but he's on the Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb. Really hard for me to hate him because I grew up loving CeeDee Lamb. But now I was super salty when the Eagles. Still mad about it. I get mad about it every time.
Jalen Reagor.
They decided instead of trading with the Atlanta Falcons, he probably would have taken the first and the second round pick and maybe like another later pick. So instead of drafting CeeDee Lamb, who is looking amazing this year, by the way, they go ahead and draft Jalen Reagor and Jalen Hurts. I just don't get it. And then also like passing on Justin Jefferson, who, by the way, looks freaking amazing.
He looks phenomenal this year.
Oh my God. And I was so mad. Remember, I was cussing Derek, remember? I was so mad when they didn't take him.
I think a lot of the rookies look phenomenal.
There's a lot. This rookie class, like you think about the running backs, you think about receivers. It's been a good rookie class.
Yeah,
not the fucking Eagles.
But that speaks a lot to them even being able to do that with little to no preparation before the season.
Oh yeah.
Hey, look,
no preseason, no training camp.
The Eagles are all. I was joking with my friends about this, and I was saying, hey, you know what? I actually think the Jalen Reagor pick fits right in. You know why? Because their whole team is injured, and Jalen Reagor is injured. So he just fits right in, right? He's part of the team.
You know somebody in the NFL that I really like. That's random. Mike Variable.
Vrabel?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I like him. Yeah. He's a cool coach, man. Him and Flores too. I like both of those guys. Yeah. And you know what's crazy to me? Well, yeah, I mean, first of all, did you see the reports where the Dallas players were shitting on their coaches?
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
Look,
I will say
that's what happens when you hire Mike McCarthy. What did you think was going to happen?
That's exactly what I was saying in the offseason. Like when they didn't announce that he was going to be the new head coach, there wasn't going to be any success in my eyes to what they
Jerry Jones needs to fucking just get in his coffin and slam it shut because holy shit, Jerry, you had a couple good years with a bum ass Troy Aikman who is overrated, who I enjoy Troy, but I'm just saying not that good. And you had an amazing offensive line with the greatest running back in NFL history, Emmitt Smith. Jerry, shut the fuck up. Okay, Jerry? That's all I got to say to Jerry Jones.
All right, fellas. Well, real quick for me, I will tell y'all real quick for me, a random player that I actually like and respect that's actually still going strong right now is Larry Fitzgerald.
Oh, yeah, everyone.
Oh, yeah, I like Larry.
Love Larry.
How do you not like Larry?
To him whatsoever. I've just, ever since really probably that year they went to the Super Bowl, I've just been
Larry
really riding and liking.
And he lost.
And yeah, it was tough, man. I wish they would have won that thing, but it's cool, Hall of Famer for sure when he gets out of the thing, man. And it's good to just see him still even shining with the Cardinals taking that back seat like a first class act, letting DeAndre Hopkins get his shine and just say, hey, I'll just come through.
Another guy I like.
I need to do.
And never switch teams. You don't really see that.
Never stayed faithfully with
especially in the NFL,
and never truly played with a real quarterback until now.
Well, Carson Palmer was decent.
Carson Palmer was good early on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he almost won that MVP that one year, but then Cam Newton had to say, "Psych, bitch."
But fellas, so much to talk about. Real quick, a couple of quick headlines for you guys to give your thoughts on as we saw in recent news. One NBA and one NFL. As we see in the NFL, real quick while we're on that subject, Antonio Brown's suspension will be lifted.
Boys, I went and picked him up real quick off the waiver wire for fantasy.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Yeah. Right when that news dropped, I was on Twitter. I was like, oh, shit.
So, as we saw, the Seahawks are a top team interested in grabbing him. As we see, they are 5-0. They are on fire. Yet another possible weapon for a guy like Russell Wilson. Fellas, do you see that as a good fit for Seattle, or do you think someone else should grab him? Do you think he should be grabbed anywhere at this point? What are your thoughts right now?
I think – go ahead, Sammy.
Go ahead, Park. Okay, so what I was saying, funny story leading up to this. So I didn't know, because literally the news came out and then one of my friends picked them up. I did manage to get him in like a couple of my leagues, but not the ones I care about the most. But do y'all know, I was telling Derek this, Tracy or some guy with the last name Tracy on the 49ers, like Mostert got hurt and then some guy took over. I think his last name was Tracy. He tried to offer me him for Robbie Anderson, right? Who's like a top 5 wide receiver. And he sucked. He's like the worst with trade negotiations. And then literally minutes later, the news broke about Antonio Brown. And he dropped that very player to pick up Antonio Brown and tried to give me Antonio Brown for Robbie Anderson. Yeah, this guy is no. I will say, like, if he does go to Seattle, man, I mean, the rich get richer. The Eagles, their best wide receiver right now is a guy who's undrafted and didn't have a team a couple months ago. The Seahawks might get another guy. I will say.
Wait, who's their best receiver?
Travis Fulgham.
Who are you talking about?
Travis Fulgham. He's the Eagles' best receiver. I don't know where he came from, but like
Sammy, no one gives no fucks about the Eagles.
I will say, like, if he goes to Seattle, I don't know if he will. I don't think he'll produce at like fantasy relevancy because he hasn't played in a while, and they do have like Tyler Lockett, Greg Olsen, and DK. So but hey, it's a good problem to have if Antonio Brown is like your third or fourth option.
I don't think Antonio goes to Seattle.
Where do you see him going?
I don't know. I really don't. I just don't. For some reason, I'm like Seattle. Everyone's talking about Seattle. There's been a couple other teams. I just think that
it always ends up being the team that you don't expect.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to see him at the Patriots, but they've already tried that. I mean, he's got a good connection with Robert Kraft, and him and Cam will be good. But I was, as a Patriots fan, anytime, as a longtime Patriots fan, anytime a wide receiver comes to the market, I want him. And the Julio news is really interesting for me. I don't think the Patriots are going to get him, but I mean, he's not going to go to the Steelers. He's not going to go to the Raiders. He's not going to go to the Pats. So you can already rule out those guys.
Probably not the Buccaneers either, just because they have so much money invested in their offense.
No, yeah, I don't think they have the room for him, and they already have a solid group of skills. But I think Atlanta doesn't want to take that right now because even if Atlanta's looking to trade Julio, then Atlanta's going rebuild. So
you need to look at
that trade is actually happening now.
The Matt Ryan Julio trade.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would love to see Julio go to the Eagles, but you have to understand those guys carry a huge cap hit. You're talking like hundreds of millions of dollars.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if they're going to actually get traded.
Maybe they wait till the offseason when the cap hit's not as much. It's still going to be a lot, but not as much.
I'm just trying to think of places that make sense for Antonio Brown.
We have to look at. He's going to have to go to a team with he
wants to go to a contender. He wants to go to a contender.
And there has to be solid coaching and leadership in place. Like really good.
I was going to ask about Houston because
I mean, that would be good. Deshaun Watson, I think.
Yeah, but there has to be a good leadership. Like I think you'd have to bring him into a strong locker room. I don't think Seattle makes sense from the standpoint of it's a strong locker room.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm just trying to think because I'm thinking about teams that just don't have that guy at receiver, and a lot of teams kind of do. I mean,
what do you think about Miami?
That would be dope.
You could see he's from there.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Actually, I don't know if they want that personality because I think they kind of have a good locker room vibe right now.
I think a dark horse could be maybe Kansas City. I don't know. I'd watch out for them.
Yeah, the Kansas is.
Man, look,
bro, if Kansas City gets Antonio Brown, I will jump off a damn bridge.
I wouldn't be surprised because they don't have a really good number 2 guy. They have Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins,
Travis Kelce.
I know Travis. I'm talking about the wide receiver position.
Edwards-Helaire, Le'Veon Bell.
I could see Kansas City. I think you could make a stronger argument for Kansas City over Seattle.
Buffalo actually kind of makes sense too.
I was thinking about Buffalo, but I just didn't want to because I don't like those.
Yeah, but remember when he said he didn't want to go there? He didn't want to go there when he was originally going to get.
How wants to go to Buffalo?
No one wants to go, but I mean they are a contender. That's a strong contender.
No one wants to go to Buffalo.
You think about it, Antonio Brown and Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
I'd love him in Philly. I just don't see him meshing well with that locker room.
That's not the problem with Philly. That's the problem is the offensive line. Yeah. Receivers. I'm not even concerned about receivers for Philly.
Maybe Chicago.
No, because they won't even pay Allen Robinson.
How much would Antonio Brown cost this year though?
Probably not too much, but I mean,
probably.
And he's getting vet minimum to get in.
Yeah, and
I was actually he's not gonna if he's going vet min somewhere, it's his decision. He's not gonna go anywhere that he doesn't feel and he's a diva, so.
Well, what was interesting though? Vegas is I know he's already been with the Raiders, but that would be interesting. It would be a good fit. He already knows the system, so and they are a strong contender.
How about this?
My picks, New Orleans. I could see New Orleans too.
I would love to see him on the Packers.
Yeah,
that means the front office. that means the front office has to get Aaron Rodgers like actual weapons, and they're not going to do that.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
No, you're right. I could see
That's not
Parker.
happening.
I think that's like a really good pick.
Yeah.
I could definitely see him going.
I happen upon genius sometimes.
Yeah. I could see. I'm gonna say Kansas City or Green Bay is where he ends up.
Okay.
If I had to choose, I'm gonna go between 3 teams: Buffalo, Miami, or the Raiders.
I'm gonna go Seahawks, Miami, and Green Bay.
Nice. All right, fellas, real good.
I mean, he is from Miami, so that does make sense.
Yeah.
Those are all great picks, great destinations, all contending teams. So let's just wait. Let's see. We got some time to wait, and we will keep you guys updated as we are updated, and we will let y'all know what we think on where he decides to land. But
Dwayne, where do you think he goes?
right now, I have no place to think of at the moment, so I'm going to transition to this next subject.
Hell yeah, Dwayne.
Let's go into the NBA now, and let's talk about a certain coaching move that has now been made, where the New Orleans Pelicans have picked up their new coach. I guess we should say new. Maybe some out there have said recycled from what I've heard.
Wow.
But we have a man who was coming from the commentator's booth and is now back in the coaching seat. Last I believe we saw him was when he was with the Orlando Magic with Dwight.
No, Detroit.
No, the Pistons.
Detroit, the Pistons?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that was very forgettable. Okay, so then last we saw this man.
It was.
Sorry, Ben. But nonetheless, last we remember he was with the Detroit Pistons, and he is now, after a hiatus of a few seasons, a few years, can't be too accurate with that there, but we know he's been out for a minute and he is now back in the coaching seat with the New Orleans Pelicans. So fellas, was this a good coaching hire for a young core like the New Orleans Pelicans?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because here's my take on it. My take is this. When you have talent like New Orleans has, which is young talent that needs to develop, but not the talent that's going to win you a championship, you don't go out and take a risk on a coach to try to win a championship. You go with some guy who's known to develop players, who knows what he's talking about, and who's actually a player's coach. Stan, a lot of players actually like Stan. So my thing is with that is New Orleans will have a guy to develop their young players. And if he just so happens to win a championship with them, cool. I mean, that's not going to happen, but unless they get a couple other pieces and, but my point is that I think it's a guy that is going to come in your locker room, really develop your players. Your players are going to like him, and there's no expectation there's expectations to be good, but there's really no expectations. I mean, their expectations probably just to make the playoffs, right? I think that it was a really good hire, and I like it. There's no need to go try to find somebody that's the next Nick Nurse or Brad Stevens, right? Because that could go sideways real quick. So I like the hire, and I like Stan Van Gundy. So
yeah, I mean the Van Gundys in general are just great basketball minds. So it makes sense to pair a young core with a great basketball mind.
Yeah,
I mean,
facts. And he didn't really have the pieces in Detroit. Detroit was kind of and Orlando he
was
did
all over the place.
And Orlando he did well with Orlando. I mean, he did well with Orlando, and then he ran into LeBron. So you could say that for a lot of coaches. So. I like that. And, he did well with the White when he was there and some other players. So, yeah, I'm a fan of the hire for sure. When I saw it, I was cool with it.
For sure.
For the record, Parker, he actually beat LeBron, just saying. Nonetheless.
Young LeBron.
Also, I think he was a coach that was ahead of his time because back then, even when he was in Orlando, right? His team was well known for shooting threes. I think he was one of the first coaches that said the 3-point shot is a higher percentage shot than a layup or a mid-range. So I think he's on the older side, but he was talking about things at a younger age that we are now saying is super important in the league. So I think he fits the modern NBA well, even though he is an older coach.
Interesting. Okay, that's 2. Derek, how about yourself, sir? What are you thinking?
Oh yeah, no, I love it. I love it. It's a great hire. I mean, I'm more intrigued. Now that they've hired him, I'm more intrigued to see what New Orleans is going to do with free
with
agency.
Drew and Drew.
Well, yeah, mainly because I think they need to bring in a couple of veteran guys. I
Is
think.
Holiday a free agent?
He's not. He has
Yeah.
1 year left, I think, on his deal. But you got to think, is that team, because he could probably get you like a decent amount back
I don't
now
think they get rid of him.
if you trade him.
I wouldn't get rid of him, but he would be I mean, I would hate to see him go here, but he'd be an amazing fit at LA. But he's going to cash out because he's in LA. I don't know has the cap space for it, but
And he definitely is. So you have to think, are you going to be able to do anything with Drew? I don't know if they're going to be able to do anything while he's like this good.
I will tell you who's legit and I think is going to become a star under Van Gundy is Brandon Ingram. I mean, he's already kind of rise to fame, but
Yeah,
Brandon Ingram's like that guy that I've been waiting on to bust out the scene. Like, and I think like a lot of times we think of Zion, but I actually think that Brandon Ingram is going to be the guy for that team.
I
Don't
think
forget
so
about
too.
Jackson Hayes too.
Yeah, I mean, they have a really good like 3-4-5, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I would play. Yeah, I mean that team could go and then Holiday. I mean, they're really one. I mean, is JJ
Lonzo,
Redick
too.
is not there
Lonzo,
anymore,
too.
correct?
He's
He's
a
I
free
agent.
think he's a free agent. Yeah.
Lonzo,
You got
No, Reddit.
Lonzo's there.
dude,
I'm saying
Lonzo.
Lonzo's.
Whatever. I mean, overhyped, but whatever.
All right, fellas.
Still a very good defender.
LeVar is who the Pelicans need. Instant champion.
Now, that would be interesting.
So
Honestly, the only better hire that the Pelicans could have made would probably be Lamar or LeVar, bro.
That would be interesting to see him there. That'd be interesting to see him on any team, to be honest.
Hell no.
So, fellas, let me ask you this then. Given this new coaching hire, where do you realistically now see the Pelicans placing in the upcoming NBA season when it does go underway?
I think I could see him being in a sneaky like 6th seed. Right?
Yeah. I think it mainly depends on Zion, like with his health. Like,
yeah,
because that's really the only thing. It's the same story. If he loses the weight, I think he'll be.
I don't think he needs to lose the weight.
I think he has to. He has no choice.
I think he has to. There's no way his body's going to be able to keep up with that.
Yeah, that's a lot of
boys. I have great news.
Here.
My Chipotle's here. I'll be right back, boys.
Time out on a live podcast.
No, but I think it just depends on his health, because if he can manage to stay healthy, which I think he'll be really good under Van Gundy anyway, I don't see why they can't get into the playoffs. So I think I would agree with Parker, sneaky 6, but I think realistically they'll be around 7 or 8.
Hey, maybe JJ stays now because Van Gundy's there. I mean, he had really good years in Orlando.
Yeah, I'm going to say this. I have a sneaky suspicion that Redick is going to leave, even with Van Gundy.
I want him to go to Boston so bad, dude. You have no idea.
I want him to. I want him to as well. But I think no matter what, I think he's going to go to a contender. Like serious
Boston. I'll drive him there myself.
I think that would be between 4 or 5 teams. That would be the realistic spots for him. Would be, of course, Boston, Miami, Toronto, LA. Both LAs.
What are we talking about, boys?
Redick.
Where we think Redick could go.
Let me ask you guys about this, because I saw this come on the spectrum today. Apparently, DeMar DeRozan wants out of San Antonio.
Of course he does. They're a sinking ship.
You know,
He has player options. He can go wherever he wants.
I think that Greg Popovich should leave and go to the Rockets.
From to retire. Oh, you want Pop to go to Houston?
Hell yeah. If you're an NBA
Yeah,
fan,
it's not happening.
if you're an
It would be
NBA fan,
interesting, but I don't
there's
see
only
that.
like 4 coaches that I don't want Popovich over. Maybe only 3.
What teams?
Brad Stevens,
Okay.
Eric Spoelstra,
Uh-huh.
and
Don't say Nick Nurse. He's a bitch.
Nick Nurse. No, really. Seriously. I mean, can you think of any others that you wouldn't want to have Greg Popovich over?
I'd want Popovich probably over Nick Nurse just because he's a bitch.
Only because Popovich has only got another good 3 years out of him. So Houston's perfect because Houston only has a really good 3 years out of him.
That would be interesting. No, I would agree with that. I think those are the top coaches in the league anyway. So
that's what I'm saying. And they're young guys.
Yeah.
So it's like, why would you give up? Like Greg Popovich is actually honestly better than all those guys, but they're young. Like you don't want to give up. You don't want to give up a Brad Stevens who's going to coach.
I really like Denver's coach too, Mike Malone. I think that's his name is. Yeah, I like him a lot.
Yeah, Mike Malone's good. I would agree. I think he's like top 5.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't have anything.
I don't know.
But DeMar DeRozan, I don't know where.
Yo, am I tripping? Has Mike D'Antoni been hired?
No.
Really?
No.
I haven't seen any reports of him even being interviewed.
Well, he was getting looked at by Philly.
Oh yeah.
They hired Doc. So I wonder where DeMar could go. I don't know.
What's the value in his player option? Because I think that's going to be the.
Well, the problem with DeMar now is DeMar is like DeMar would be an amazing basketball. DeMar would be the Michael Jordan of our era if there was no 3-point shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he goes back to Toronto because
that would be dope.
I don't see.
That's
where
he wanted to stay.
Yeah, I don't see another fit for him right now.
I could see him.
Does Toronto have the space for him with the Van Fleet and Siakam contracts and stuff?
Well, Van Vliet's gonna be a free agent,
and they're gonna pay him.
Toronto has cap space. Yeah, but someone's gonna max him out though. Do you want to give him max money, like almost $40 million a year? Do you think he's worth that?
Nah, I don't.
Someone's gonna throw max money at him.
You think someone's throwing 40 at him?
Like New York. Well, how it works is they have his bird rights, so they can offer more than any other team.
Rose would be good in New York.
Who? Van Vliet?
DeRozan.
I don't know. I think he wants to go somewhere where he can win. I think he's at that point in his career. I think Van Vliet's still young, so he can kind of carve himself out as the guy somewhere. I think Van Vliet's going to New York.
New York will throw that money at him, but $40 million, you're on crack cocaine. But New York's just stupid enough. New York is on. Yeah. You're on crack cocaine. New York's on black tar meth. So yeah, they'll give him the money.
I could see maybe DeRozan going to like Dallas, possibly.
The Cowboys, No, I'm kidding. Mavericks don't have space for him either, bro. With Porzingis,
they do have. I think they have a little bit of cap space if they find ways to clear contracts. Yeah, there's not a lot of fits, I think, around the league.
Yeah, because he's an unfittable player.
Maybe Atlanta.
Atlanta would be interesting because they have. I think they have.
They've got to be a playoff team.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be a playoff team. They definitely.
I don't know about that one, boys.
They'll be around 6 or 7.
Maybe we'll see.
They'll be at the bottom for sure.
You got that Atlanta bias in you.
No, I don't.
I'm kidding.
I love, man. Let me tell you something. These Atlanta fans are hilarious to laugh at. So
I know no Braves jokes. I'm a Braves fan, Derek. We can't go there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all are cursed, bro. Yeah, Atlanta will be an intriguing option for DeRozan, but I don't know where else outside of Toronto. I'm not sure where.
Minnesota has. I'm just looking at teams that have a little bit of cap
Miami
space.
Might have some space if they want to bring him in. But
they're going.
I thought Miami, but who's too much like Jimmy Butler?
Yeah, I don't think he fits well with that team.
I mean, Miami might go after him if they don't get Giannis. Yo, if Giannis goes to Miami, do y'all think there's a chance for that? Because that would really piss me off.
I do. They're gonna have this, but then that means they're not gonna sign anyone next year.
That's
And
what
by
I'm saying.
then, you have to think. If you're Giannis, you have to look. Jimmy Butler's. If they don't sign anyone good, and your best player, well, they're gonna have Bam Adebayo. Which, by the way, I don't think Bam and Giannis would fit well. I think you're gonna see another like Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons situation if that happens. I don't. If you're Giannis, you have to look like, do you really want to join that team that their best player is a Jimmy Butler who's 33, and on the downside of his career, and Bam Adebayo. I think honestly, Victor Oladipo is going to go to Miami this offseason. I think that's who they get. I'm just looking at teams with cap space. I mean, Atlanta, maybe, if he decides to opt out. Okay, not OKC. I don't know. There's not a lot of teams that would fit. I don't know. Phoenix? Maybe Phoenix?
No, Phoenix. I think Phoenix they like to shoot too much. He can't shoot.
What about Memphis?
Oh,
Memphis does have cap space.
That'd be
Dwayne,
interesting.
what do you think? Do you think he'd be a fit in Memphis?
He's got that Memphis grind.
Yeah. He's a veteran. Off of veteranship, I wouldn't mind it, but I'd have to see it.
He just doesn't really fit.
Ja's not a selfish player, so in terms of Triple J and Ja, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have a problem sharing the wealth with a guy like him. And like I said, he offers veteranship. However, if he comes there, his mentality got to change, bro.
I think it was already.
Be mentally right, because
I think DeMar has good mentality.
I think he does too, but I think that that whole situation with leaving Toronto probably made him look at things a little differently, though. So I don't think it'd be hard for him to be on a team like Memphis, knowing that they have a good squad, that they can actually do some damage. I don't think it'd be hard for him to, maybe take less shots or something like that for him on that team.
You know what I could see happening? I don't know why I didn't think of this. So teams could, the Lakers, right? I'm going to throw a dark horse out there as the Lakers, because what they could do, they technically the only player they will have under contract that has any significance is LeBron. So, and I know Anthony Davis is going to go back, but he already said he's opting out. So what they could do is he could opt out, sign DeMar DeRozan. Once it's official, since they have Anthony Davis's bird rights, they could then bring him back.
Well,
but then you're going to have like no one around them. But you'd have Anthony Davis, DeMar DeRozan, and LeBron.
DeMar doesn't fit what LA wants, I don't think. They want shooters.
I mean, they want a chip and they were like bottom third of the league in 3-point shooting. So
I know, but think about how more dominant they would be if they weren't.
If they were, yeah, I'm sure. But I think at this point, LeBron just wants to play with good players.
Kuzma's gone, by the way. Kuzma, see ya, bro. Hope you find a good spot. And
you think Kuzma's gone?
I hope Kuzma likes Charlotte, North Carolina. Because that's where he's at. Yeah. Isn't that right, Charlotte?
I'm going to say LA. He either stays in San Antonio, he goes to the Lakers, or he ends up in Atlanta. Those are probably my top three.
I'm going to say Toronto, Atlanta. Toronto, Atlanta, or Memphis.
Okay. I like those.
All right. Yeah. Okay, guys. So that does it on our headline side of the show for what we've seen so far. So definitely keep it locked with us as we keep it locked to what's going on out there in the sports world, because we will definitely keep you guys locked and uploaded, especially if some breaking news happens live on the midst of this episode. However, I'll switch to some debate topics with the panel right here. Shout out to the On the Sidelines Facebook group. If you are not already following, make sure you follow OTS On the Sidelines group on Facebook. Yes, unfortunately, you do have to be approved to join now. So make sure you just answer a couple of questions. We'll get those administrators. They will be watching. So make sure you're acting right and appropriate. But nonetheless, go ahead and join that Facebook group and just check out all the cool debates.
It is okay. It is okay to call Jonathan a bitch in the group, though.
Shout out to Jonathan. We love you, bro. We'll see you back when you get back on. Nonetheless, albeit, fellas, let's get into our first debate topic. On the Facebook On the Sidelines group, there was a nice debate on the NBA while we're on the subject of the NBA. There was a debate about which player is more accomplished between Dwight Howard and Carmelo Anthony. As we know, Dwight Howard has come off the bench and won an official championship, which is now added to his resume within the credentials that he already had from his time in Orlando. And of course, as he had somewhat of a journeymanship a little bit with his time with LA and Houston. But fellas, I opened up the panel here to you guys to say, who do you view as the more accomplished player to date, even though both are still active in the NBA right now? Who has the more impressive resume, Carmelo Anthony or Dwight Howard?
Dwight Howard, not even close. He has the accolades and everything. He's a much better defender. I'm pretty sure he's made all defensive teams so many times. He's going to be, in my mind, a first ballot, if not first ballot, definitely early ballot Hall of Famer. I don't think Melo makes it right away. He will make it, just not like first ballot. I don't know about that. I think Dwight, in my mind, it would be Dwight. He also, the 1 year, he had a really good breakout year in Orlando. I think he deserved the MVP over Derrick Rose that 1 year. So I would go Dwight.
I would say I would agree with you, but I would also say that I wouldn't say it's hands down. I just think there's we're all recency bias because I think that like Dwight's had a resurgence and I think Carmelo's plummeted. We make jokes about Dwight or Carmelo and stuff like that. I mean, I think it just depends on what side of the ball you value most. But I mean, Dwight has a ring and Carmelo doesn't. So I think that's kind of what it comes down to at the end of it all. I think both players in their prime were. I mean, to me, I love Dwight Howard, so I'll choose Dwight Howard. But I mean, Dwight Howard in his prime was the next Shaq. So, and Carmelo was always a great scorer, but really nothing else. So hear me. I just looked up some quick facts. Ready? All NBA teams comparisons. Dwight Howard has made 5 All NBA first teams. Carmelo Anthony has made 0. Wow,
Dwight
that's
Howard
surprising
has
me.
made 8 All NBA selections total. Melo had 6. Dwight Howard 4 first team All Defensive. Carmelo Anthony 0. Dwight has made it 5 times in total to an All Defensive team. Melo has obviously made it 0. Dwight Howard has won 3 Defensive Player of the Year. Melo has obviously made 0. The only thing that Carmelo Anthony has over him is scoring. Other than that, Dwight has been a better rebounder.
Well, all-star selections as well. I think Dwight's a 7-time All-Star, and I think Melo's like
8
14 or 15.
No, Melo has made 10 All-Stars. Dwight has made 8.
Okay.
So it's not really that far off. Carmelo Anthony has played 1 more year. Other than that, I think that the All-Star to me doesn't really mean anything because, I know Derek's going to agree with me here. Jaylen Brown should have been an All-Star this year, no question, in my mind. I think he definitely deserved a lot of some people that made it. And if not, it just shows how great certain players are. But that to All-Star selection doesn't necessarily mean a lot to me. What means a lot to me is I love defense, right? I'm a big, and we could talk about this forever. I'm a big supporter of defense first, and I think basketball was way harder in the 90s and early thousands compared to now. I think Dwight Howard, and he's shown him his body of work is still playing at a really good level, and he could be starting. Yeah, he came off the bench to get a championship. Sometimes he had to do that. He could still be starting for like.
Well, I think another thing
of the teams
about Dwight that is important is I think, and don't get me wrong, it took a couple of years of being like, well, what the fuck? But the thing with Dwight Dwight was okay finally of taking that back seat and being, hey, I'm not the player that I used to be. So let me be the best version of myself on a team as a role player. And Carmelo's never been able to do that. So I think Dwight setting aside his ego and that video where he's holding the Larry O.B. and he's crying, bro, that hits you right in your heart. He's like, hey, I never thought I was going to do this, but I did it. And that's really cool.
It does. And I think also the fact that the game changed, right? So the center wasn't something that wasn't the primary focus, dunking it into the lane, like throwing the ball into the lane and allowing the five to take over. It's just becoming more of a shooting league. So Dwight evolved and went with the times. Carmelo he didn't. He kind of stayed the same.
Yeah.
I know they
play defense.
I know they play different positions, but yeah, he doesn't play defense. I think the fact that Dwight plays both sides of the ball, that for me, I'm choosing him 10 times out of 10.
Although I will say though that Melo's defense this year, like during the playoffs especially, to me it actually seemed like he picked it up. Like the Blazers didn't have anyone to guard LeBron, and no team really does. But I think he actually played like not that bad against him.
Yeah, but if it was any other player other than LeBron, would Carmelo really have gone that hard?
Probably not, just because that's his boy. But
that's what I'm saying. So
yeah. But I'm going Dwight as well. I mean, he led the Magic to
Superman.
The finals. Yeah,
should have been MVP that year. Not Derrick Rose.
Yeah, I mean, well, we could go down there.
I was about to say, but
because it's.
I know, Dwayne. I don't care,
bro. You know the one shoe I wanted growing up so bad was the one shoe I wanted so bad growing up and never got was a white and blue pair of the Dwight Howards, those Adidas Dwight Howards, and they weren't even that good looking of a shoe, but man, I just love Dwight. I just loved Dwight. They were like the little like mid tops, and they had the three Adidas, and they had the Orlando colors. I was like, damn, I really want those. I want to be like Dwight, but I never got my chance.
And then even think about it, when he went to LA the first time, that was off the back surgery. He still, I think, averaged a double that year.
And he was great in Houston.
And he was phenomenal. I'm choosing Dwight in that one. Even I still love Melo though, but it's
I love both. I love both players.
But Dwight Howard is just he was first ballot in my eyes. He was first ballot before the championship. The championship just confirms it.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I'm looking up the stats now for that year. Dwight Howard, during Derrick Rose's MVP year, averaged 23 points.
Well,
23 points, 2.4 blocks.
MVP voting is a bunch of bullshit.
It is.
Bullshit, I say. Because James Harden would have 3 by now. Give it to the players, people. I don't want to hear none of this bullshit. And you know what? They don't value people in their greatness. James Harden should be a 3-time MVP. Oh, but no, Steph Curry, this little light-skinned gap-toothed little bitch had to drill a couple from the logo. Listen, no. Don't get me started. But James Harden should at least, boys, James Harden should at least have 2 MVPs, right? And another thing. That's the same thing with Steve Nash getting MVPs over Shaq. They value guard play over big man play. It's as simple as that.
That's what I was going to say. I think the criteria in general is just for a lot of these awards.
The media makes the narrative, and when they freaking make the narrative and they vote, it's stupid as shit. You know what?
Yeah.
Shaq was dominant, and they saw this big ass beast, and they were like, "Oh, he's cool for 1 year." And then they saw this little like blonde hair California Steve Nash surfer boy, and they're like, "Oh, this little tiny white boy, let's vote him." Same thing with Giannis Antetokounmpo. Listen, Giannis Antetokounmpo should not be a 2-time MVP. Don't get me started, man.
No, I
Giannis-
agree with that. No,
And
I
man-
think LeBron should have gotten it this year in my mind.
Okay, he shouldn't have got the first year. He shouldn't have got the second year. You know what? Make me 6'10" and see what I do with the fucking basketball.
That's
I'll
what
be
James
doing.
Harden said, right? He said,
I mean, yes.
I wish I could just be that tall.
Yeah, I would. And you know what? Watch those games, bro. Those games are bullshit. The referees, my man runs a halfback dive every damn play and trucks somebody, and the referees call a defensive foul. Bullshit referees.
Oh, trust
Listen,
me.
Scott Foster and Malloy, suck my balls. Listen, don't give this man calls. Giannis is a freaking don't like him, man. Don't like him. Honest answer, Kaboombos, suck my freaking taint, bro.
All right.
Not enough for you.
Tell how you really feel, Parker.
So tell them how you really feel, Parker.
You want me to keep going? No, I'm kidding.
Unfortunately, not. We're going to transition into the same player in Carmelo Anthony, but we're going to switch out Dwight for yet another faithful player on who you would rather have on your team, I believe is what this question said in the Facebook group. Now, we have two Celtics over here, so I believe I know exactly where they're going.
They about to say Paul Pierce.
Is this right now or in their prime?
Who are you going with? That, Parker, you might have to pull that up for me, sir.
I'll do it. Who is it?
So we can ask that exact question between Carmelo Anthony and Paul Pierce. What exactly was the question that was mentioned?
I'm sure it was in their prime because Paul. Yeah, I'm sure.
Doesn't play.
Paul's retired,
No,
yeah.
Paul Pierce. He was a better defender.
Well, I
Make
mean,
sure we get the question exactly correct here before we unleash these opinions.
wait, you want me to see the final question? I'm sure it's in their
It has
prime.
to be prime.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to. Let's just go off their prime because if it wasn't in their prime, it's a dumbass question.
If it wasn't in their prime,
I'm just kidding.
I mean, even if you
wasn't
want to do the whole
prime.
career. Even if you want to do the whole career.
Yeah, Dwayne's like, if you want to do the whole career, I have receipts for both because Paul Pierce.
Because Paul Pierce. Hey, no, everybody. Let's just go ahead. Yeah, let's go off of prime. I'll make sure. I'll scroll, kind of make sure, but off of primes.
I think Paul Pierce is such a
Jonathan
shitty.
franchise.
I think Paul Pierce is such a shitty analyst that people forget about how good of a player he was.
Yes.
Amazing.
So, because that man needs to get the fuck off TV. I mean, terrible Paul Pierce. I mean, I don't know many people worse than Paul Pierce on TV. You're a great basketball player. Paul, you only had one mishap when you were an NBA player, and that's when you shit your pants. But on TV, that you literally shit you metaphorically shit your pants every time you're on TV, Paul.
No, I honestly, I think Paul Pierce is someone that is so highly underrated. You know, I guarantee when he makes it to the Hall of Fame, they're gonna be people that have something to say about that because they might not even think he's a Hall of Fame player.
Oh, he's definitely a Hall of Fame player.
That's
I mean,
stupid.
He for sure is. But I think you're talking about a lot of people that watched Paul Pierce toward the end of his career when he was in Brooklyn and in LA. Well, actually, when he was in Brooklyn,
in LA, he called game, bro.
It doesn't matter. That's the thing. It doesn't matter.
That was actually Washington.
Brooklyn and Washington, he called game.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
Washington
It was
called game.
Washington.
God, I forgot about that stint.
But even with those two teams, he was still killing it. But you're talking about a guy that a lot of people have only seen at the tail end of his career.
That's true. Because
You know
not a
what I'm
lot of
saying?
people saw him in the
I would
beginning.
go Paul
when he had,
Pierce.
like Antoine Walker.
Yo,
Yeah.
here's a good question that'll divide these two right here. Who's better? Because I think we're going to disagree. Who's better, Garnett or Pierce?
Better.
Ooh.
Garnett.
Who's better?
Garnett.
Who's better,
Better
Derek?
overall.
Who do you want? Derek.
In their, I mean Garnett. I would probably go
yeah,
Garnett.
you have to go
Even though
Garnett.
Okay, cool. I was going to go
Pierce is
Garnett.
You have to go Garnett.
Pierce is my
but
favorite player ever, but Garnett is. I mean, he just had like another motor in his head.
Garnett's shit on TV too. What is it with the Celtics being shit on TV? Kendrick Perkins is shit on TV too. Wasn't he a Celtic?
Yeah.
Bro, they don't know in Boston, they know basketball, but they don't know commentary, bro. These guys are shit.
Look, I'll say this. I think that former NBA players in general, not all of them need to be.
I know. I hate that they're just shoving that in our mouths.
That's the thing that I think is.
You know who's going to kill it, though? Vince Carter. Vince Carter's going to kill it.
Draymond Green, I think, is going to be amazing as a commentator. I cannot wait for Draymond to be a commentator.
He's going to be phenomenal. He breaks
Draymond has the face for radio.
He does.
Bro, you saw when he was commentating during the playoffs, right? Where he was when he was saying like Devin Booker needs to get out. But that was hilarious. That guy is going to be an amazing commentator.
I don't know that he'll do traditional.
I was about to say he should have a show like an Area 51, but better than Kevin Garnett's at it. But like,
if I'm not mistaken, I think that one may have been done.
What about what about Jalen?
Jalen Rose is phenomenal. I like Jalen Rose. So here's the thing. I think players that are able to break down and actually analyze the games and not just, voice opinions. Those players do phenomenal.
So you don't like Charles Barkley?
No.
He's just funny.
What? What? Derek, you don't like Chuck?
No. Hold on. He's entertaining, but when you're talking about like actually breaking down,
I would never want him to be a commentator. I would never want him to be a commentator.
Well, yeah. No, I think Inside the NBA is the best basketball show out.
And there's only one guy there's only one guy on that show that could be an analyst, and that's Kenny Smith.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. But I think they have a great dynamic. But I love
coaches make great commentators.
That's why I don't want Jeff Van Gundy going back into coaching. That's my exact reason why I don't want to because I like listening to him during the game.
Stan was good too.
Stan was really good. Yeah, Stan was really good. But Jeff has that entertainment.
Yeah, because Jeff just be saying some crazy shit on there.
Yeah, he does. But I like listening to players break down and analyze the game. Kendrick Perkins, I don't know what happened to him because when he first came out and he started doing it, he was doing a good job with it, but he's now become kind of like shifted into this. I don't want to talk bad about him. I love Kendrick, but he's kind of shifted into this area where he's more of a fanboy.
Big Daddy Perk.
He just does not break it down the right way anymore. So
yeah.
I don't know who I would like to hear become a commentator or just analyze a game on TV would be Ray Allen.
Ooh,
he would be really good at it. He'd be. Really
I really want to see. I really want to see. Now Rondo's going to be a coach.
He's
going to be a coach.
He's going to be a coach.
He will.
No, Chris Paul will be a coach and will be one of the best.
He will too.
No,
sure.
Rondo won't be a coach because Rondo doesn't have the patience to put up with other people's attitudes.
No, that's true too.
Yeah, I mean, but neither does
Greg
Popovich.
I was about to say maybe he'll just be another Popovich in terms of that dynamic. Not saying success, but
but here's the deal: the Popovich era of coaching's over, boys, because you have players who are divas, and that's just how it's going to be. And I don't really like using that word. I mean, you got talented guys who know their talent and they don't want to listen to some guys, and that's just how it is. But yeah, I mean, I think Vince Carter is going to be really good at it.
Sure.
I mean, there was another guy I was going to talk about. I mean, you know what I was thinking about you, and you said Ray Allen. You remember when Kobe and Shaq did that little thing where they were like, "I love you, bro. Come hug me. Come hug me, Kobe. I love you." I think that I can't wait to see that. It's never going to happen, but one day I will shed a tear if it happens with Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, and Rondo. More specifically, Pierce and Garnett. But Garnett,
I don't think
Pierce is already mended the fences.
But Garnett, bro, that man's like, yo, man, fuck him. I don't give a shit. I'm like Garnett, bro. Chill out. Like
I think the more issue is with Rondo and Allen than anyone. I don't think
You think
Rondo
so?
likes Ray.
Yeah.
I don't think Rondo because remember there was that a few years ago when the Celtics will do this. They'll have like a reunion with the championship teams, and Rondo was like in charge of hosting it, and he didn't invite Ray Allen. Ray Allen was like the only player not
Bro,
invited.
Rondo's a little bitch, honestly. I don't. That's
But
one guy.
he's going to be a coach.
That
Like I
Franklin
can
the
see
turtle
this.
head ass.
Watch in the next 20 years, LeBron's gonna be an owner of a team, and then he's gonna hire Rondo as his coach.
Bro, I
I
don't
could see
like him. I don't like him. I don't like
Smart
you know-
guy, whether you like him or not. He's
You know what?
He's one of the.
You know what they
he's a
don't like him
smart
because
dude.
Ray Allen, good looking light skinned brother, Jason threes. Rondo looks like a fucking turtle. Get out of here, Rondo. And you spit in people's faces. That's not how you treat people, Rondo. Rondo has no class.
He's still one of the most intelligent basketball players in the league. Doesn't matter what you say.
Great basketball mind.
It's like LeBron and Rondo are probably two of the high. Like I know I heard this somewhere, but it's true. LeBron and Rondo are probably two of the smartest players.
Chris Paul's smarter and better.
IQ.
I wouldn't be surprised if he decides to become a GM either, or has
Rondo?
opportunity to become a GM.
Rondo, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if that happened.
What's he gonna do when someone decides to leave? He's gonna spit on their face.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, Rondo. Hey, I've decided to go to Miami in free agency.
Rondo said he would never join Miami. That's the one team he'd never join.
Rondo said that?
Yeah, 2 years ago. Said he would never join the Heat.
I honestly thought he said the same thing about the Lakers, but
he probably did because he's a little bitch.
I could have promised I heard him say that one time.
Honestly, before we got on this podcast, I really would kind of like Rondo, but you know what? I've changed my stance. Charlie,
Rondo is my favorite
Rondo's
point
a piece
guard
of shit
of all time. I love Rondo.
Chris Paul's better. Can you agree? Chris Paul's better
as a
player,
okay, yes.
as a mind, as everything.
Okay, as like in terms of basketball IQ, that's tough. Like the way Rondo sees the game, though, it's not something you can like. You can't really judge it by statistics.
Has Chris Paul ever been bad? Has Chris Paul ever been bad?
No, but Rondo really hasn't either.
I don't think Rondo has either.
There were some suspect years.
Okay, sure. I'm sure. I'm not saying Chris Paul isn't bad. Chris Paul by far is the better basketball player. I'm just talking about basketball IQ and the way he reads defenses and all. I think Rondo is probably up there with only LeBron James as two of like the highest IQ minds.
Why do I feel like I've never seen Rondo in an interview? You know why? Because he doesn't have a personality. Because he's a bitch. That too.
It's just like, I don't know. He could do so many things. He could be an analyst. He could be
Let me tell you what's going to happen to Rondo when he retires. He's going to go sit at some beach somewhere and not give a shit. He doesn't have the patience.
He's going to coach the Houston Rockets. He's going to win him a chip, and then you're going to like him.
Dude, I will go freaking lick his freaking toes if that man goes and wins his championship. Are you kidding me?
That leads me to wonder. Right now, all time, your top 5 basketball players in terms of IQ. Go.
All time?
Ooh, Jesus.
Yep. Top 5.
All right, you got to have LeBron up there.
LeBron's up there for sure. Michael Jordan.
I would put Jordan, LeBron, Magic.
Definitely Magic.
Honestly, a fringe guy that everyone forgets about, but had an amazing IQ and always like. I think Akeem Olajuwon could be a fringe top 5, but there's just so many good players. I mean, Kobe, LeBron, Jordan, Magic. You guys agree with Magic as well?
Yeah. I think I know you hate him. Steve Nash has to be up there.
No. I don't hate Steve Nash. I love Steve Nash. I love Steve Nash, but that one year Shaq should have had the MVP. I keep it real. I love Steve Nash.
Yeah, I think Dwayne, your question is just so hard because like you're not just going based off of talent. You're going off of like stuff that you don't see on a box score, just
Shoot,
how they
Larry Bird.
play within a system.
I know. I was thinking Bird as well.
Larry Bird. I
Like
mean,
some guy that you might not talk a lot about now, but like remember when Iguodala was in Philly? I mean, that's what he made his name off of, just playing smart basketball and playing the right way. That he was never a flashy player, but
Who do you think has
he
the
was
dumbest IQ?
Kwame
Kwame Brown,
JaVale
Josh
McGee.
Smith.
Oh, wait. What's his name?
why Josh Smith?
Michael Beasley. Michael Beasley by far is the dumbest player ever to play in the league.
I don't know. Josh Smith just looks stupid to me, y'all.
J.R. Smith.
Oh shit, JR. JR's dumb as fuck.
But like, I've never seen, like, I was watching a clip today of Michael Beasley when he was on the Lakers and he was checking into a game and he still had on his practice shorts. So we have to go back into the locker room.
But there's a difference between being just dumb and being a pothead. You know?
I was about to say he may have just been high that night, man.
Bro, he was totally high. That man, you look at that man, he's always high.
Yeah.
Did you remember? Everyone's seen the video.
Hey, underrated IQ. Underrated IQ in the NBA currently, Draymond.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's what I'm saying.
And I don't even like him that much.
He's gonna be a good analyst. He could be a coach. He could be a lot of things when he's done too.
Yeah, that's funny. Sure.
Yeah, but I would say, I mean, like, but just by far the lowest IQ player I've ever seen. It's like a toss up between, like, because I'll say this: at least JR got dressed to go to the game, or doesn't. Everyone's seen the video of Michael Beasley when he thought he was rubbing his knee, but he was really rubbing the guy's knee next to him. Like that dude it just takes.
He was high, bro.
Like,
he had to be high. That has nothing to do with IQ.
You want to hear a guy that like I don't know if you want to say it's intelligence. I wouldn't say it's IQ. But I think a guy that's underappreciated because I think that in his own mind, to him, it made sense. And it just happened to come across the court. And I also think he's one of the most underrated players ever, and he gets overpassed. But I love me some Dennis Rodman. That man did not have an IQ, but in that man's mind, it made sense to him, right? Like to him, like when he's on the screen, he's like, I went bam, boom, bop, bop. Like to him, that's like I cut across, did a back shoulder turn, you know? And in his mind, that's what he's thinking, but he just doesn't know how to express it because he's actually dumb, but he just knows, man.
I think so.
Okay.
I think he's
reminds
smart
me
as
a lot
hell.
of Ron Artest.
He
reminds me so much of Ron Artest.
Yeah. I think he's smart as hell. It's just that
it's just he did too many drugs.
He
Yeah.
he partied a lot. I think
it's just what he needed to do.
Himself. Yeah, I think, which is actually speaks to the brilliance of Phil Jackson.
Yeah,
to allow him to be able to just be himself and know he's gonna be ready game day.
Phil was a hippie, bro.
Underrated IQ, I think I would say, is Steve Kerr.
Yeah, I was gonna say, give me some of y'all top 5 underrated IQs.
I think
Steve
underrated
Kerr.
would be Steve Kerr. Yeah.
I would say Andre Iguodala has to be in there. I grew up in Philadelphia, like the Celtics, but I saw a handful of Sixers games, and like just what he was doing for that team wasn't flashy, but
Jason Kidd
did the right thing.
Yes.
Jason Kidd.
Yeah, but he's probably going to be a Hall of Famer.
J Kidd. Yeah.
What about?
I mean, he's going to be.
Williams.
Jason Williams.
Yeah.
I don't know. White chocolate. A former Florida Gator. I like to be biased, but I don't know. I think he was just flashy. I don't know if he had you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm just trying to think of guys who aren't really like that athletic and don't have really a good shot, but for some reason they were on the basketball court, and that's because of their IQ. You know,
Duncan Robinson could shoot.
Yeah, he could shoot though.
I'll give you some that come to mind. Nobody would ever think of.
According to Parker Rondo.
Tony Allen.
Ooh. No, there's a difference between IQ and like just being a dog. You know what I mean? Tony Allen was just a dog
with a high IQ. He knows where he needs to be. Like you were talking about with Dennis Rodman.
You're right.
Dennis Rodman would practice the rebounds, knowing all the angles and which ball is going to bounce off the rim. Right.
Yeah.
Tony Allen put in that same work on defense. Like I think.
Yeah, I guess if you think about that.
Yeah, I think IQ on defense is something that a lot of people don't give a ton of credit to.
I think Kawhi has a lot of IQ.
Oh yeah,
like
you know who doesn't have a lot of IQ but just naturally talented is Kyrie Irving. That dude's weird. Weird.
Yeah, we know he doesn't have a lot of IQ. The man thinks the Earth is flat. I mean,
right. Parker, someone wants to say hi to you.
Oh, what's up? What's this dog's name?
Boston.
Boston? Good thing you didn't name it Eagle. It'd be dead by now.
All right, Dwayne, let's hear it.
Okay.
That shit would have got hit by a car if it was named Eagle.
Some names that come off the top of the head.
I'm killing Derek.
Tony Parker.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Ginobili.
The Spurs.
Tim Duncan. Greg Popovich. Kawhi.
Yo, so funny story.
Boris Diaw.
Hold on. Before you go on, so because you said Manu Ginobili, I used to work for the Sixers and the Spurs were in town, and I saw Manu Ginobili sitting courtside. Really weird fact. That dude, you don't think it, but he has really hairy arms. Really hairy arms.
Breaking news: Manu Ginobili, hairy arms.
Good.
Let me hear it, Dwayne.
Both Gasol brothers.
Oh
yeah. Ooh,
absolutely.
Yeah,
Dwayne, did you Google this shit? You're a genius.
Oh no, this is just
good.
Joakim Noah.
I love me some Joakim.
Hey,
listen. What this man does, he's not.
I'm going with two Gators here. Al Horford.
I was about to say
Al Horford.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Al Horford.
That was for you, Parker. That's why I went that route.
Thank you, Dwayne. I love you.
The only two players to bring Florida a basketball championship, I believe.
Also, DeMarcus Cousins, underrated IQ. He actually was. I would say he was one of the best passing big men in the league when he's healthy.
You want to talk about underrated IQ? Jokic.
He displayed underrated.
No, he displayed it a lot this year.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I just think not a lot of people talk.
Actually,
I know because Boogie's.
You want to talk about underrated IQ? Underrated IQ because everyone likes to fucking hate on him. James Harden.
Do you think it's underrated?
I think people
just like to shit on him.
Plays the game.
Yeah, because
he plays the game
when he uses his IQ to do something, people say, "Oh, well, he's just drawing fouls," and "Oh, the step backs are travel." That's IQ, boys. That's manipulating the game.
He's smart.
Actually,
he's a smart dude.
I think he's changed the game a little bit.
He has changed the game. And you know what? I don't even care anymore because everyone's going to hate on him. And you know what's going to happen? When that man retires and that man goes first ballot Hall of Fame, everyone's going to remember, holy shit, that man was a baller.
You think he's the first ballot?
Derek! You don't think James Harden is first ballot?
I'm not saying he's not. I just I never thought about it.
Time
will only tell. I think I definitely want to see. I don't think it's far-fetched to say he will be. I just had never thought of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had never thought until you said that. It never.
You think Derrick Rose is first ballot?
No.
Unfortunately, I don't think so right now.
Do you think
because his career
Carmelo's first ballot? Charles Barkley was first ballot.
I think he would be.
Was Steve Nash first ballot?
Y'all got to remember that it's not just NBA. So yes, he is.
Yeah.
It's college, it's USA basketball, and it's NBA. So therefore,
yeah.
And my boy took the FIBA team and won a medal, and he was also on the freaking 2012 team when they. Oh, that was
Hence
the FIBA
why
they money danced.
When I
think that's right. That's right.
Even when you throw the Derrick Roses and all of those guys, you got to remember it's not just NBA stats. People get caught up in just their NBA careers, and it's like, no.
I didn't know it was college, but good to know.
Oh yeah, it is definitely college.
Too.
Yeah, my boy, he was a Sun Devil.
Factors into it, so it's like it'll all of those.
James Harden is a hard worker, mother trucker too. I believe
they call it the Basketball Hall of Fame, not the NBA Hall of Fame.
Wow, Dwayne, you are actually a genius.
It's no genius whatsoever.
Dwayne, I gotta nip this in the bud real quick, bro.
What happened?
Stop talking sports, dude. I feel you feel different tonight. What's wrong?
Do I feel different?
I'm not seeing the vibrancy I usually get from you. Is it me or is it you?
Vibrancy?
You guys seeing this? Dwayne, do we need to talk? Are you okay?
I think it's because he knows he's wrong about.
Are you no?
That the Bills are better.
Dwayne, let me ask you this. Are you tired? Did you have a long day?
We have always had long days, brother. We all have long days.
God, I know you have the energy, but I sense like you need a good nap, bud. Or a good hug. No, you still bring dinner. Listen, Dwayne, you being tired is still 100 times the level that we could all bring. Don't get me wrong, but you're still killing it. I sense you need a hug right now, bud.
Killing it, brother.
Don't worry.
As is my panel. But nonetheless, fellas, let's transition to a completely different sport that we actually don't usually get to cover much on the sideline, guys, because we get covered up in our NBA and our NFL talks. So I'm going to transition to a sport that usually doesn't get talked about as much, probably because arguably it may not be as popular as it once was. However, we have to cover this really quickly. In our final debate, shout out to, again, the Sideline guys and the Facebook group on the Sideline guys group. So therefore, I must ask, fellas. Now, this was presented to you by Fox Sports. So to those who wonder, where did this source come from? This was Fox Sports' list. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have right here presented the top 10 list of all-time boxers. And I'm actually going to go from 10 to 1. So let's go ahead and do this straight up. 106 in Park, top 10 countdown style, baby. Coming in at number 10, we have Julio Cesar Chavez. Number 9, Oscar De La Hoya. Shout out to my Hispanic and Latino brothers and sisters out there. We have at number 8, Archie Moore. At number 7, we have Joe Louis. At number 6, we've got Bernard Hopkins. And coming in at number 5, Sugar Ray Robinson. Coming in at number 4, shockingly to the world, is the pretty boy himself, Muhammad Ali. Cassius Clay, to you who look at him that way as well. Coming in at number 3, Carlos Monzon. And coming in at number 2, Manny Pacquiao. And finally, your number 1 pick, your number 1 all-time boxer, ladies and gentlemen, Floyd Money Mayweather Jr., to specify that. So, fellas, what do you think about this list?
I'm not much of a boxing fan. I always just grew up assuming Muhammad Ali was the best. So
Muhammad Ali is the GOAT, y'all. First of all, let me talk about this. I don't even know who Bernard Hopkins, Joe. I mean, to be fair, don't know how half the people on this list are, but let me tell you a couple of things. Number 1, Oscar De La Hoya should be at least top 6 just because his name. Fucking dope. I mean, that rolls off the tongue like it's nothing. Oscar De La Hoya. Now, secondly, Sugar Ray Robinson. I know Sugar Ray. I know Muhammad. I know Manio. I know Floyd Mayweather. Here's the deal. This is kind of how I look at it. Floyd, I've always thought Floyd, great businessman, but a bitch. Because listen here, y'all. My boy Muhammad would just go up to a mother and just punch him right in the face. And if someone would come at him, he'd dip, dock, and dodge. Floyd Mayweather is just a glorified skip-de-doo my day around the ring. So no, Muhammad Ali is the GOAT. Let's not get it twisted. And same thing with these other guys, right? Floyd Mayweather, look, good for him. You've earned the most money. You're undefeated. Wooda, wooda, wooda. You fought a UFC guy that didn't know how to box. Wooda, wooda, wooda. Floyd, shut the hell up. I'm done with you. You can't even read, and you run around the ring like you're a little girl, okay? So there's my argument there. Manny Pacquiao, he's decent, like whatever. I mean, Floyd's obviously better than Manny Pacquiao, but I would go Muhammad Ali at 1, Floyd at 2, Pacquiao at 3. Then I'm going to throw Sugar Ray Robinson at 4. And then I'm going to put Oscar De La Hoya, just because his name, at 5. And the other people, I don't give a shit about. Look, here's the deal. You had this guy named Carlos Monzon above Muhammad Ali. I don't even know who the fuck Carlos Monzon is. If I don't even know, if I know the top 5, if I know the top 4 people and I don't know the one guy above Muhammad Ali, who when you ask somebody to name a boxer, they're going to say Rocky or Muhammad Ali. Shit, I don't care who Carlos Monzon is.
And notable names to those who may be casual boxing fans, and you're saying to yourself, well, where are some of these guys? Notable names that are left off of this very list in top 10 as we speak are Iron Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, Roy Jones Jr., just to name.
What about the one guy, Evander Holyfield?
Evander Holyfield, yet another name left off of this list.
This list is wild.
Is it Booty Cheeks, Derek? Is it?
Yeah, their positioning doesn't make any sense to me because I can understand the argument for Mayweather. I can understand it from a defensive perspective. The goal is to hit, not get hit. I understand that. But one thing that I've always respected about Muhammad Ali is he never ran from anyone. He if a fight came up, he took it.
Yep.
He and
they shouldn't let these guys pick their fights.
See, that's what's annoying me because I respect Mayweather, but and he'll probably deny it. I think I've heard him deny it already, but about the whole picking and running type of thing. But he picked his opponents and ran from other opponents because when he was supposed to fight Manny Pacquiao
in his prime,
he did. And people forget prime Manny Pacquiao
would have whooped his ass.
Beast. I really think he could have got. I think he really could have touched him. I really think he could have won that fight.
I think Floyd Mayweather is the most overrated athlete of all time.
I would have to think of that.
That's a take.
That's a take.
Yeah.
Oh,
how about that, boys?
That sounds like a take.
That's a wild one because he's for the most part he's not been hit with the really good punch. You know what I'm saying? Now there was one. I forget my guy's name. Was that Oscar De La Hoya he fought?
God, that hit him? So. I hope so. Nothing would make me happier than a guy named Oscar De La Hoya punching him.
Well, yeah, because he schooled what's his face?
He got Robert Guerrero like right after he got out of prison. That fight to me was wow, because I actually thought Guerrero had the upper hand in that fight because Mayweather was in prison. But
what else is he gonna do? He's in prison. He trains.
Go ahead, Sammy.
Again, don't have much input here, but a random story popped in my head. So a lot of people consider Floyd as the GOAT, or just because of his undefeated record, right? That's probably why people think he's so amazing. Fun fact, I forgot where I read this, and you might need to fact check me on this, but boxing, when it was part of an Olympic sport, I don't think it is now. Dwayne, is it? Is it an Olympic sport still?
Let's Google it. It is boxing and
Olympic. So that doesn't go towards your official record. And back when Floyd Mayweather was boxing for USA, I don't think he obviously doesn't do it anymore. He actually lost.
Yeah, he did. I'm looking at it.
He lost once.
He didn't even win the silver. He won bronze, bum ass.
He won bronze because he lost against someone to go to the gold match. But that doesn't go again. But everyone forgets that. Like everyone says he's the best because he's undefeated. But he technically isn't undefeated because he got bronze that one year.
He actually lost.
Doesn't go against.
He actually lost twice. He lost in the Olympic qualification and then lost to another guy in the Olympic semifinal. So Floyd.
There you go. Just your Olympic record doesn't go towards your official
Wow.
record.
I mean, I don't even look at record to be completely honest, because Bernard Hopkins, I forgot what his record is, but I mean, dude was going until, if I'm not mistaken, I think he was in his 50s or 60s. And that last fight, he got knocked out of the ring. So
He's won 55 times and lost 8.
Who?
Bernard Hopkins.
Yeah, and
that's pretty fucking crazy.
He's so I'm not mad at him being on the list. I just think that they're the positions, the actual rankings.
I feel like Muhammad Ali just was like a different animal, though.
Muhammad Ali should be number one. Muhammad Ali should be number one, without question.
It's very similar. It just seems to have I've always said the Floyd and Muhammad Ali argument is the exact same as the LeBron Jordan argument. You have your Floyd elitists, you have your LeBron elitists, you have those who didn't grow up seeing Muhammad Ali, but they grew up to see Floyd, just like those who've grown up to see LeBron didn't grow up to see Jordan. It's debatable, you know. It really has its. You could see, you know, arguably, but he should not be number 4 on the list. That's for
he
sure.
should no.
Cassius Clay was such a cooler name too.
I don't even blame him for changing it.
I mean, it was religion purposes, but Cassius Clay is cool.
Yeah, I don't know why they have him at 4. I would love to know what their reasoning is for having.
It's clickbait. The reason they put him at 4 is the reason why we're talking about it right now.
That's something to think
about.
There
you go.
Fox Sports, you got us.
There you go.
Speaking of Talk Sports, now, fellas, as we get ready to wrap this thing up, Parker, you have just brought a subject for next week's show that might be something to talk about. When you mentioned the statement you mentioned about Floyd being the most overrated athlete of all time, fellas, some homework for you. I would love for you guys to get me a top 10 list of 2 top 10 lists. Top 10 most overrated athletes from any sport. Top 10 most, well, I guess rated. Greatest, however you want to look at it.
Underrated.
10 greatest athletes. We could do underrated if you want to throw an underrated list in there. You know, that's something we can definitely discuss on next week's show for sure. I think that would be a very entertaining. So again, this is from all sports, from golf, football, basketball, boxing, tennis, all of these sports where we see athletes all
any NFL quarterback before 2000.
Pretty much. We can say any NFL quarterback before
Terry Bradshaw, Troy Aikman, Joe. There's only a couple. Joe Montana, Dan Marino. I'll give it to them. Terry Bradshaw, holy shit. Terry Bradshaw's up there.
Randall Cunningham was not overrated.
Let's see. Save those picks, fellas. Again, that's homework for you. That's something for next week. So get those lists ready and let's bring that forth to the sideline so we can discuss that amongst people on who we feel are some of our most overrated athletes, our most underrated athletes, and of course, I guess greatest. So greatest is considered rated. So where need be. But as all good things must come to an end. And unfortunately, you guys, this is our ending point of the sideline, guys. So fellas, real quick, go around, tell the people where they can find you and give your final take for the evening.
Sammy, hit him up.
All right, cool. So one name immediate popped in my head. I don't know if I'm going to put this guy on my list, but Marquette King, some guy no one really thinks about. Dude could punt and is fast as shit. Yeah, fast as shit, and he can punt. He's a great athlete. Anyway, you can find me on Instagram at Sammy_OTS. My final take will be, and I've told this, I don't know if I told you, Derek, this, but I'm guaranteeing an Eagles win tomorrow because the Eagles have always won, and it was only once. I only got to watch one game this year, and it was the game they won, and I won't be at work tomorrow night. That is why the Eagles will win tomorrow. Hot take.
So you're the reason why we're 1-4-1.
Hey, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying.
Are you pulling a Charles Barkley, sir? Guarantee.
Guarantee. Okay.
And if you're anything like Charles Barkley, we are screwed.
Hey, they're playing the Giants, so it can't really be that far-fetched of an idea. But I did say that the Eagles were going to win against San Francisco, and they did. And I wasn't at work. Just saying.
Yo, I will say this. Follow me at Parker Gailey on anything. But let me say that I really want to call out Jonathan here, because the Bills have lost 2 weeks in a row. My man's nowhere to be found. He's going to be telling me he's like renovating some kitchen or some shit. We all know he's hiding. Jonathan, I know the Patriots have struggled as well, but you were on a high horse. Blah, 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 blah. The Bills are going to win the Super Bowl. Josh Allen, and he's like, I mean, last week he at least responded to text messages and tell us he wasn't going to be there. This week, Josh Allen only throws for 122 yards and a couple picks, and this man's nowhere to be found. This man's godsend. This man's MVP gets booty stomped by the Kansas City Chiefs, and Kansas City Chiefs don't even have that good of a defense, Jonathan. So guess what, bub? I do love you, but I say this in a loving way. You're a bitch.
Let it also be known that Dwayne said and still believes that the Bills are better than the Chiefs.
Hey, Dwayne, don't let him fuck with you. Dwayne's my boy, okay? You fuck with Dwayne, you fuck with me, okay?
I still have no proof or recognition of
Dwayne.
You just said in the beginning.
I'm not exaggerating when I say
in
this.
the beginning of the podcast that the Bills are still better.
Dwayne, I would take a bullet for you, literally.
He had his ranking. He had his ranking for the AFC top 5.
Yes. But he also, in the beginning of this show, said the Bills were better.
We never said who was better.
You said in the beginning of this show.
He was going power rankings. You were going power rankings. Wasn't that right,
in the beginning of the show. You said, I will find the clip
of
the beginning of this show.
From what I heard, I thought he was saying that he still hasn't ranked above them.
Dwayne, I can't wait. I can't wait till the Eagles lose this week, and then we come on here and be like, you said the Eagles were going to win.
Hey, man. Okay. Look, if the Eagles, let me just give my Derek _OTS, DRICK, and more importantly, just follow at OTS guys, all social media platforms. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe if you're not subscribed, and if you have not gone yet and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We have a lot of stuff coming out in the next couple of months. I will say this: if the Eagles lose to the Giants,
jeez,
I'm done for the year. I'm done for the year. I am done. I'm done. And it's not on Carson Wentz. Let me say this. This is not Carson Wentz. This man has played with, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 11 different offensive weapons in the last 5 weeks. The offensive line has been different every single week. Jamon Brown, thank God they cut him. Because my God, the dude,
bro, that's a great name.
No, Miles.
He sacked his own quarterback. How in the hell do you sack your own quarterback? So,
bro, his name is Jamon Brown. That's hilarious. To be like, what'd you say about my mama? I said you're Jamon Brown.
Yo. I just got that. But hey, I will say no Sanders or Ertz this week either. But you get Jackson back.
They'll be good. They'll be good this year. I mean this week. But if they were to lose to the Eagles, I don't want to hear anything else about
the Giants. They've already lost to the Eagles morally.
Yeah, we've lost we've killed ourselves. But if they lose to the Giants tomorrow night, I don't want to hear anything else. I'm still going to cheer for them. I'm going to still root. I'm still going to believe, but I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You're going to
be like Derek. You're going to be like Dwayne's friend, who's a Falcons fan.
Derek, I'm going to be honest with you, bro. You know that you know how you have that Eagles helmet that's spinning in the background?
Yeah, it won't be spinning.
I really feel like I feel like if they lose, it can't be spinning.
I'm pulling the plug. I'm not. Y'all would just see it just sit. It's just gonna be stationary. I'm not. It's not spinning anymore. The championship ring that's underneath it is not gonna be glowing anymore.
You got a championship ring? Wow.
Yeah, I got. It's right underneath it. It's right underneath it. No, I'm not. That was a $40 ring. Not yet. I'll say that.
That's right.
But if the Eagles lose this week to the Giants, please don't talk to me anymore about the Eagles. I don't want to hear it. I'm still going
That's
to
cool.
cheer for them.
That's okay.
But I don't want to hear anyone else's predictions.
I don't want to talk to you about the Eagles anyway.
I don't want to talk about them. I personally don't feel like talking about them anymore. It's just leave me alone.
We love you, Derek. I'm sorry.
Love you guys too.
He said that so sad as his head's down.
Well,
It's
I'll
painful.
still talk about him.
Understandable.
We know you will, Sammy.
Yeah, I'm not.
Oh my goodness. Oh my
Dwayne, take us out, brother.
Take us out, brother. Okay, well, awesome, ladies and gentlemen. I actually do have somewhat of a hot take that I can give. I guess why not, right? Everybody's giving hot takes. And Sammy can actually quote me on this one because I'll actually stand by it whether I'm right or wrong. Hey, it is what it is, right? Nonetheless, I'm doing it for the sake of hot takes, and I'm actually going to do this for my boy Derek because this is a very common Derek, and I am going to say, ladies and gentlemen, right here, right now, that I will say Derek Henry will be your season MVP. By the end of the year. Mark my words, people.
Over Russell Wilson?
Yes, I am saying.
You heard the man.
He's going to pull an Adrian Peterson. He's going to pull an Adrian Peterson, and somehow, some way, I feel
be
this man is going to have his come out party in some sorts where he's actually going to go on some type of tear. I'm not saying, I'm pretty sure we'll get some losses. I don't disagree on that. I'm just saying he's somehow, even in loss, even in defeat, this man's going to just go on some type of tear. Almost similar to what he did in the playoffs last year, where it's just going to be undeniable. But you got to give this man an MVP for some reason. I don't know what it is, but I feel it in my spirit. I don't know why. But I'm calling Derrick Henry.
I'm with you. I'm with you, Dwayne.
NFL MVP. Like I said, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Sammy's got the tape. He's got the footage now. He can screenshot it. He can record it. He can put it all on blast on the sideline.
You did say the Bills.
I'm not mad at it, though. I'm not mad at that. I'm mad at it.
I'm not either. I like it, Dwayne. Spicy.
I'm gonna go out.
That's a nice
ladies
hot
and gentlemen, you can follow me at Dwayne Dickey Jr. on Instagram. You already know what it is. But also, don't just follow me. Don't just follow Parker. Don't just follow Derek. Follow OTS Guys on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. Yeah, make sure you join that group, the Sidelines group. Hey, also make sure you head over to www.otsguys.com for things like articles and bios on guys like us. You know what I'm saying? If you want to know more about us and shows that we host, such as Perennial Powerhouse Podcast, hopefully we got an Eagles podcast coming in there somewhere at some point in the future. That would be great to see.
Maybe next year.
That's coming next year. You know what I'm saying? So definitely for those Eagles fans, rah, 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 we'll see an Eagles podcast under the OTS umbrella featuring these two over here. Maybe even a Celtics podcast as well. A combination.
That we could talk about.
Who knows?
Maybe.
Nonetheless, hey, as we talk, like I said, pass the ox, for my music lovers out there. Like I said, we got a bevy of topics, a bevy of things and subjects, and so many more shows coming. And to my YouTubers watching live, appreciate you guys for tuning in, streaming with us, sticking with us. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to come back next week when we stream and join the OTS family. Make sure y'all check us out at otsguys.com. That's www.otsguys.com. Hit that subscribe button, notification bell, so you will stay up to date with when we're going live for this very show and other shows, our mini shows like Plugged In and so many, many more, Show Off, and all these other shows that are coming very, very soon. And well, it's pretty much about that time. So we about to hit the sidelines, fellas. It's about time to roll and jet. We are out of here. Peace.
Yes, sir.
Dwayne.
Boom.
Oh, hold on.
Hey, you need to take us off live?
Yeah, hold up.